Hey everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder and chief editor at Healthcare IT Today. We're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in health IT. And our guest today is Gail Stephens. She's VP of Health and Life Sciences at SAS. Welcome, Gail.
Thanks, John. It's great to be here and talking to you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're here at the Explore SAS, right? We're learning all about the latest announcements. But before we dive into that, tell us a little bit about yourself and SAS.
Sure. So I've been at SAS almost since birth. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've been here 37 years, and not all in health and life sciences, but at least the last 10 years in health and life sciences. So what I do for SAS is I manage or lead all of the technical parts of our health and life sciences solutions and even our advisors and our technical people who speak with our customers and give them advice.
Awesome. Well, SAS has been doing a lot in healthcare for a long time.
Yes.
We need the data and insights that comes from their products. But, what's exciting is you announced SAS Health. What is SAS Health?
So SAS Health is basically a series of products that are all under a common framework that give us the ability to ingest data from common formats in healthcare and then bring it into a common data model that makes it analytic ready and then subsequently allows us to do an analysis on that data to the benefit of patients, providers, and payers.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I heard today during one of the media briefings that, you've been verticalized for 25 years or something. They said like that. So you've been focused on healthcare for a while. But what are some of the business problems or even functional challenges that this technology will address for healthcare?
Well, data is a problem for everybody. So, and the biggest problem I see in healthcare with regard to data is that there's really not good standardization. So that means you bring data in from all different formats, and then you have to figure out what to do with it. And so what this does is it actually provides the benefit of allowing you to ingest data in the formats that we know, and then bring them into a common data model so that you can have all of that data brought together and then analyzed. So that's something that most people don't have right now. They have to figure out how to get that data in and organize in such a way that you can get some insights from it. So what we do is once we have the data in, then we can go about the business of providing, solutions that are specific to the problems that our healthcare customers are facing.
It's interesting you talked about the standards. What standards are going to be available in this product?
So the first one we're doing is FHIR. That's
Makes
a big
sense.
one. And then we'll have others. I mean, we'll have OMOP and others that are more common in the healthcare field. We'll have clinical trial data, things, CDISC, things that are real apropos even to our life sciences customers. And we'll just continue to learn from our customers what's the most important thing to them. And those are the ones that we'll bring in. The nice thing is even the ones that we don't have, our customers can very easily ingest those by just changing some metadata that is within our software. Okay. So one of the things that you and I talked about is getting a demo of the SAS Health in the demo room downstairs in the Innovation Hub, and that's one of the things he'll show you how easy it is to bring whatever you want in.
Well, let's talk about that. Like, how have customers been ingesting this FHIR data today? Like, what's the approach now, and how will it be better with SAS Health?
So now, I mean, there's a variety of ways that you can ingest FHIR data. There's a standard API. So a lot of the places where you get healthcare data are now adopting that API. So it becomes easier and easier for you to do that. But I mean, if you don't want to be a programmer, if you want to take advantage,
which is most in healthcare,
if you want to take advantage of those that have programmed to bring that data in or ingest that data in what I would call an easy button kind of way, we learn the API and you reap the benefit. So that's kind of the way that we approached it anyway. And there are other types of data that are the same. You don't want to necessarily be a programmer in order to be able to analyze the data that you have access to.
Interesting. And who do you see as like the target audience for SAS Health?
I would say payers, providers, government agencies, and in life sciences companies. All of them, I think, would be good candidates for this software.
And in the provider side, which is, the majority of our focus, probably larger health systems. I mean, it seems like everyone's becoming a large health system these days. It's probably needs someone more that, or is that the main focus within the provider space?
Well, I mean, the providers, I mean, they're a great example of having this really great patient data that is kind of embedded in these systems that they use to kind of manage the patient records, and really not a good way to analyze that data and do anything for themselves to be able to get to diagnoses quicker or to better health outcomes for those patients. So I think I would hope that anybody that has an EHR would be a very good candidate for this.
Interesting. And how does this, SaaS offering compare to some of the other options out there?
I think that we're kind of in a good position to be a leader here. I mean, there's not a lot of options right now where you get that data ingestion common data model all wrapped into one. You have a lot of companies who have whole departments of programmers that have to figure it all out. So I actually think we're in a good position to be first.
Interesting. And talk about the value that this product brings. I mean, you talked about easy access to data in a standardized common data format. So that makes sense. I think everyone can understand that. Talk about some of the other value you think it brings.
Well, at the end of the day, I think what we're really looking to do is help patients get to a good place with their health quicker. So, I mean, I think the biggest benefit that I see is the ability to bring that data that we have brought into the common data model into something that actually provides benefit directly to the patient, to the provider, to the payer. I mean, in general, we want to make sure that that whatever we're doing is we're doing our part to help improve patient health. I mean, I think that's the biggest benefit in my mind. And we ourselves are putting models together that will be used out of the box that will help physicians or payers to get to a good place quicker. But also we're allowing partners and our customers to do the same. So, I mean, for instance, we're not doctors, so we don't want to get into the business of diagnosing disease, but we would love to be kind of the proverbial wind beneath the wings of those doctors to be able to give them the tools right out of the box to be able to pull a cohort or of patients that have similar conditions and be able to maybe predict what complications those patients might have, or even come to a diagnosis of something that's pretty complex just because they were able to look across a whole cohort of patients that showed similar symptoms. Or maybe pull cohort of patients by geography and be able to start to point out where there might be a lack of medical facilities or care available to patients that really need it. So those kinds of things,
There's so many opportunities. I mean, I just think about the keynote that we saw this morning, highlighted a number of things. One is, how do you take the data and deploy it into actual action, right? The second was, how do you explain to the doctor? You gave an interesting example on stage with, end-stage renal failure, right? With kidney, where it's like, we got to explain to the doctor so they trust the data, which I think is interesting as well. So I think that's the power to me of doing it the right way, is like, understanding it, pushing it to them so they can make their decision. That was what was highlighted to me in the example I saw on stage today.
Yeah, no, that's true too. So, I mean, I think anytime that you are using data to help enhance a patient outcome or a doctor's decision, it's definitely important that the doctor believe the data so that they take advantage of that. And we definitely are in a position with our history of analytics and the quality of the data that comes to us and the cleanliness of it, that after we pulled into into our system,
it's powerful.
Yeah.
So what is the long-term vision for SAS Health, and what do you think's next?
I think what I envision is for more data sources, of course, to come in, but also more solutions, more analytic models that we'll have right out of the box. Partners that are putting software as a medical device out there using our platform. More dashboards and reports that are going to be useful for a physician. The ability to draw cohorts out of large data that help you to narrow down your analysis to what you're looking for. There's countless things that I think we will do. I think we'll also branch out eventually into pulling more of the life sciences market in. You know, we already have the ability to analyze the real world data by pulling cohorts or, run clinical trials, using our systems to be able to manage those clinical trials. And I think we also can help people to remove bias from some of the analysis they're doing today. And so these are things that I think are all very important. And one of the things that we've gotten recently is the clinical, and that was another new product released recently, is a clinical enrollment simulation product that allows you to use the different sites that you have available for your clinical trials to be able to analyze that data and then decide which ones you're going to use that are the most reliable, but also if you're looking for a diverse clinical trial, where are the diverse sites? You've got to be able to figure all those kinds of things out too. And this all will fall under the umbrella of our SAS Health product.
Interesting. I love it. And I mean, it's interesting to think about how partners could share their different analytics with each other, because that's one of the beauties of healthcare, which is often not true in a lot of other industries. Most healthcare organizations want to share, a few local competitive things, but for the most part, they're like, no, if this helps someone else, I'm fine sharing it with the entire world. So, I think that's a smart model.
No, and I think that's definitely true. When you start talking to some of these partners, they just want to see a healthier world.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they want it to be affordable for everybody. So, I mean, there's all kinds of work that can be done with this framework that by us or by our partners that are going to really make a difference.
Awesome. Well, Gail, I appreciate you taking time to talk with us and share about the new announcement of SAS Health. And I'm sure everyone will want to check it out and see what all you're doing. So thanks so much. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare IT content like this, be sure to check it out at healthcareittoday.com or search for Healthcare IT Today on your favorite podcast application. Thanks, Gail.
Thanks, John.